Subscribe. MTL World at Mythal World 1 YouTube channel. Swallowed Star 2 Origin Continent. Chapter 248 Above the God King. 27th of Volume 6. In a vast wasteland. A young man looked into the distance and saw the vast and endless bloody river covering half of the sky. I was killed, and Yangfeng Ancient Kingdom didn't do anything. The young man's eyes were cold. Now that Black Robe is even more arrogant, occupying a vast territory, and wants to build a huge god kingdom comparable to the two ancient kingdoms. I want to see if the two ancient countries can continue to endure. Di Qing, Yangfeng Ancestor, Thunder Ancestor, can you three really endure it? The young man secretly thought. He is the reincarnated Emperor Yuan. Knowing that he doesn't have enough credits to cultivate into an ultimate realm life form, he won't return to the Flamewind royal family. He knows that among the royal family, there are some who want him dead. If he dares to return to the royal family, his identity will soon be leaked to that black-robed figure. Di Qing and the other two might be in seclusion. Most of their energy is spent in the outside world, and they only come out of seclusion when they need to rest and relax. As for me, what matters most now is to comprehend the complete Tao. The young man thought. Seeking help from others is not as good as seeking it from oneself. His true realm is the peak of the second level of the God King realm. By devouring countless beings to aid his cultivation, he has even comprehended 5 ultimate realm secret techniques, making him quite outstanding among the emperors of the Flamewind Ancient Kingdom. In terms of realm accumulation, he is at the forefront among the emperors. The Yangfeng Ancient Country, emperors who without relying on the bloodline of the primordial source, became an ultimate realm life form merely by using some rare treasures of the primordial source. Their overall realm accumulation is much deeper. This is true for Emperor Yuan, Emperor Chu, and Emperor Zhufeng. Under normal circumstances, Di Yuan could have dominated the world, but he ran into Luo Feng with the Star Tower in hand and was completely defeated. If I can comprehend more ultimate realm secret techniques, perhaps I can break through. With a single step, the young man vanished without a sound. The establishment of the Galaxy Kingdom has caused all factions on the Origin Continent to observe, waiting for the reactions of the two ancient nations. Night. Galaxy Kingdom, the capital. Establishing the Divine Kingdom is relatively easy, but stabilizing its existence and placing it on par with the two ancient nations is quite challenging. Luo Feng sat alone and drinking at the top of the 9-story pavilion. With the pride of the ancestors of the two nations, whether they can tolerate the existence of the Galaxy Kingdom is still hard to say. Haha, I'm really looking forward to the ancestors of the two nations making a move, it will also verify the flaws in my methods. Luo Feng said, quite looking forward to the confrontation with the ancestors of the two nations. As Luo Feng studies the deep secret patterns of the Star Tower, his blood river naturally became more mysterious and terrifying, but it also made it harder to find an opponent. Even the combined efforts of the 8 emperors are not worth mentioning. Then it is useless for all the emperors and monarchs to join forces. Only Di Qing, the ancestor of the East Extreme Domain, and the ancestors of the two countries have some challenge value. Master, a guest has arrived. Morosa appeared silently by the side. It has already been discovered. Luo Feng looked up towards the distance. A faint blood-red fluctuation swept by, and a middle-aged man appeared in the distance, looking somewhat disheveled. To establish the God Kingdom, I was prepared for the two ancient nations to take action, always maintaining the domain of the Star Tower. Who would have thought the first to arrive would be the time-space old demon? Luo Feng shook his head inwardly. He has never underestimated the two ancient nations, so even the body he sits in is formed from the endless river of blood. A single thought can unleash great power. With continued use, Luo Feng became increasingly proficient in using the Star Tower. The methods of the Lord of the Nation are truly formidable, said the disheveled middle-aged man with a smile as he approached. That endless blood river contains the mysteries of infinite life. It can even penetrate through the past and future, permeating everything. Not even this shadow that reflects time and space can escape it. If it is a complete life Tao, it indeed resembles a river of life, capable of spanning the past and the future. Luo Feng is currently at the second level of the God King realm on the Tao of life. However, the Star Tower is centered around the mysteries of life. Many of its secret patterns, some of which Luo Feng has completely comprehended, allows him to create 8-branch techniques. Although he doesn't fully understand some of them, he can still wield them. The realm controlled by it has already affected the past and the future, and all concepts of life find it difficult to escape its infiltration. I have long heard of the name of the old demon of time and space. Luo Feng said. The middle-aged man looked at the silver-robed, golden-masked man before him. With his level of cultivation, he could see at a glance that this silver-robed, golden-masked man was a collection of incomparably terrifying energy. Once this power erupts, it would be capable of destroying the heavens and exterminating the earth. There is no opponent in this origin continent. This galaxy sovereign must be following the Tao of life and has already surpassed the level of the God King. The time-space old demon felt the terrifying nature of this force. The existence of these Tao of life becomes more and more difficult as you go further. As an enlightened being, the time-space old demon is very clear. In the early stages, the Tao of life excels at preserving life and is weaker in killing. However, as we go further, the Tao of life becomes increasingly mysterious and unpredictable. This is because it can penetrate, distort, and destroy the essence of all life. Even if it can't kill you, but it can still severely weaken your strength. And you still can't kill it or him. Yang Feng and Thunder have encountered a tough opponent, a terrifying existence on the Tao of life. Under the restrictions of the origin continent's powers, he's practically invincible. The time-space old demon said with a hint of glee. The origin continent is the backyard garden of the Yang Feng ancestor and the Thunder ancestor. The vast majority of treasures ultimately end up in their hands. The appearance of the galaxy sovereign is just to snatch the meat. His competitiveness is far superior to that of the three major alien races. The king should know what the three of us, the alien powerhouses, desire the most. The time-space old demon said, believing that the masked king of the galaxy should be a powerful figure from the origin continent. But now, even he can't see through the true identity of the galaxy emperor. 4 treasures, Luo Feng said. Yes, mainly the remains of special life forms and the secret techniques left by the Yuan. The old time-space demon nodded. I believe that with the strength of the sovereign, you still have a great chance of obtaining such treasures. I am always open to trading with the sovereign, and the terms I offer will surely satisfy you. In his eyes, the Lord of the Galaxy should be in existence beyond the God King level, and the treasures obtained on the origin continent must be extraordinary. This is a big client. Take a look at these 5 treasures. What can you exchange them for? Luo Feng waved his hand and revealed the 5 spoils he obtained from Emperor Yuan: a cloak, abyss pearl, armor, battle boots, and gloves. The old demon of time and space glanced at it and then laughed. Is this the set of weapon treasures left behind after Emperor Yuan's death? The Yangfeng ancestor is indeed stingy. The treasures prepared for the younger generation of the clan are all from the early days of the God Emperor. Secret treasure from the early stage of the God Emperor. Luo Feng's heart stirred. Galaxy Monarch, you haven't left the origin continent yet and know nothing about the outside world. The time-space old demon, seeing this, immediately understood. Luo Feng nodded. Indeed, I've never been there and know very little about it. The time-space old demon smiled with delight and said, from the ultimate realm of the God King to surpassing the God King level, this step is a qualitative transformation. Once you surpass the God King level, there will be no great Tao to guide you, and you will have to explore everything by yourself in the dark. It is unknown whether the path you discover on your own is right or wrong. The time-space old demon lamented. Sometimes, even if you take the wrong path, your strength can still be improved. But after a certain point, many hidden troubles will arise, and you may even never be able to progress again. Luo Feng nodded. He knows. The third level of the God King realm has the great Tao guiding it. Above the God King, one must explore through complete darkness, relying entirely on oneself. Therefore, in the Supreme Inheritance, there are methods that allow practitioners to create high-level secrets from low-level realms, thereby honing their comprehension. This way, when exploring the darkness in the future, they can go further. The powerful beings above the God King come from countless worlds and belong to different sects, so naturally they have different titles and names. The time-space old demon said. Some are called God Emperors, some are called God Sovereigns, some are called Witch or Wuxia ancestors, and some are called Tao Lords. Note. Different titles are different realms in outside world. 1. Divine Emperor, God Emperor realm. 2. Divine Sovereigns, God King realm. 3. Witch Ancestor, Wuxia realm. 4. Tao Lords, Tao Lord realm. Because cultivating through bloodlines is mainstream. And it's the simplest method, so over 99% of the strong are from bloodline factions. The time-space old demon said. Bloodline factions are generally referred to as Divine Emperor realms. Therefore, the title of Divine Emperor is the most commonly used. The Divine Emperor realm is divided into 4 stages. The early Divine Emperor. The mid-Divine Emperor. The late Divine Emperor. The perfected Divine Emperor. Like the so-called Dao Jun realm, it is also divided into first step Dao Jun, second step Dao Jun, third step Dao Jun, fourth step Dao Jun. Different titles, all divided into 4 steps. Take 4 steps out of the darkness. The 4th step, they all have a common name, half-primordial realm. The time-space old demon didn't mind sharing this common knowledge, saying, the semi-primordial realm represents a limit. Only by breaking this limit can one become a Xuanhuan or primordial life. Like Yuan is a very powerful Xuanhuan life. Luo Feng understood. Above the God King, taking 4 steps in the darkness is the semi-primordial level. Only above that is the Xuanhuan primordial life. And these weapon treasures, the mysteries they contain determine their level. The time-space old demon said. These 5 treasures of yours are all early-stage divine emperor treasures, well-crafted and quite suitable to be used by God Kings. Actually, these treasures are of no use to me either. The time-space old demon said with a smile as he looked at Luo Feng. But since it's our first trade, I'll give the Lord a hand means helping. I just happen to have a life-type treasure from the late stage of the Divine Emperor, which I believe will be of some use to the Lord. Let's use this armor and this bead for the exchange. The time-space old demon said. Luo Feng listened. Both are treasures from the early stage of the Divine Emperor, but the value of a full set of armor is much higher than that of gloves, boots, and cloaks. Only that abyss pearl can compare. The time-space old demon clearly chose the 2 most expensive items. Don't worry, I won't take advantage of you. Once you leave the origin continent, you'll understand. In this deal, I actually came out at a loss. The time-space old demon said with a smile. Alright, I agree to the deal. Luo Feng didn't waste any words either. To be honest, Luo Feng doesn't really think much of these 5 treasures from Emperor Yuan. Because in the infinite space treasury he can also exchange for secret treasures, according to the introduction of those secret treasures, many of them can be used at the semi-primordial level. For example, the one worth 50,000 reward points can reduce all attacks below the semi-primordial life level by 90%. From the introduction of those secret treasures, some of them are conceptual means. Luo Feng speculated that they might be secret treasures casually refined by the life of the primordial source, suitable for use at the level of a divine emperor. The 5 secret treasures used by Emperor Yuan are relatively inferior. Within the infinite space, whether it's a legacy or a treasure, the value is extremely high. The only problem is that reward points are too hard to obtain. Luo Feng also thought, I have to be very cautious with my reward points. The time-space old demon smiled and said, I'll arrange for an clone to bring the treasure right away. He came to see Luo Feng and didn't bring any valuables with him. He transported numerous treasures across endless distances to the origin continent, naturally hiding them carefully. Only a portion would be taken out for each transaction. Luo Feng sat there, waiting patiently. Soon another figure of the old space-time demon broke through the void, also bringing the items for the transaction. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe. MTL World at Middle World 1 YouTube channel.